They compensate by having a great sense of humor.
Here, this should more than compensate you for your trouble.
See the people you steal things from? They have insurance to compensate them.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Talk Word. This is the show where we grab a word, put it under the microscope, and really unpack the powerful stories hiding inside. I am so glad you're here, because today we're kicking things off with a feeling I'm pretty sure we've all had. You know that feeling, right? When something just feels off. Maybe you poured your heart and soul into a project and someone else got all the credit. Or a friend makes a promise and then breaks it, leaving everything feeling, well, unbalanced. Well, it's pretty cool because the English language actually has a specific, really powerful word for that exact situation, for the act of stepping in, restoring fairness, and making things right again. And that word is compensate. Now, I know it's a word we hear all the time, right? But stick with me because once we unpack it, you're going to see it in a whole new light. We're going to find its true weight. Okay, so here's the official textbook definition. It sounds a little robotic, doesn't it? Exerting an opposite force or effect. But listen, the real secret, the key that unlocks this entire word, isn't hiding in this definition. No, it's in where the word came from. Get this. It comes from the Latin word compensare. And what does that mean? It literally means to weigh one thing against another. Just get that picture in your head for a second. A big old-fashioned set of balancing scales. And that right there, that's the whole game. If you remember one thing today, make it this image. Every single time we use the word compensate, what we're really talking about is balancing the scales. This one idea is going to make everything else click into place. So let's put this theory to the test. We're going to start with the most obvious way we think about compensation: money. This is the tangible stuff, things you can actually hold in your hand that we put on one side of the scale to even things out. And it makes perfect sense, right? Think about your job. Your hard work, your time, your skills, that all goes on one side of the scale. Your salary, that's what goes on the other side to balance it. An accident tips the scales against you. The insurance payment helps balance it back. See how it works? It's all just balancing. Let's run through a quick story. So you're at the airport, and bam, your flight's canceled. Ugh, the scales just tipped way against you. You've lost time, you're stressed, maybe you're out money for a hotel. So the airline gives you a voucher. What they're doing is putting something of value back on your side of the scale to compensate you. They're trying to make it balanced again. But here's where this word gets really deep and, honestly, way more interesting, because balancing the scales isn't always about cold, hard cash. Sometimes the things that tip the scales are feelings, mistakes, or relationships. And that brings us to the intangible balance. This is all about the stuff you can't touch, but that has real weight. Things like our actions, our apologies, even parts of our personality that we use to create balance in our lives. I mean, think about it. Let's say you mess up and you really hurt a friend's feelings. You can't just throw a $20 bill at them, right? That would be so weird. Money wouldn't balance those scales, so what do? Exactly. You have to put something else on the scales, something that has emotional weight. A real, from-the-heart apology? That has weight. Doing something genuinely kind and thoughtful for them? That has weight too. These actions are how you compensate, how you try to balance out the hurt and fix the friendship. Now this is a beautiful example because it takes it to a whole other level. Here, it's a personality trait that's doing the balancing. So on one side of his personal scale, you might have shyness, but on the other side, he stacks on this incredibly kind and generous spirit. It doesn't just make up for the shyness, it creates a wonderful, balanced person. All right, so as we start to land the plane here, let's just bring it all back to that one core idea. If you really want to master this word, all you have to do is think about the act of balancing. So just remember the scale. Compensate is always, always, always about bringing things back into balance. And you can do that with tangible things like money, or you can do it with intangible things like a kind word or a generous act. Two sides of the same coin. And hey, if you had fun digging into this word with me, why not try it yourself? You can actually create your very own word explainers, just like this one, on the TalkWord mobile app. We'd seriously love to see which words you're curious about. So I'll leave you with a final thought to take with you. As you go about your day, take a look at the scales in your own life. Is there anything that feels a little off, a little unbalanced? And what could you do, tangible or intangible, to compensate and bring it back to center? Thanks so much for hanging out today.
Compensate me, okay?
Tell me, does the toppling of American missiles really compensate for having no hands?